Hi there, welcome to another edition of Dan's Car and Studio. Today, just a quick update on the Range Rover. Happy New Year to you all, first video of the year. Had a minor problem with it, which has been some squeaking pulleys on the auxiliary belt, which it's actually booked in to be done the week after next. So what I'll do is I'll get that done and then I can give you a proper update on what that cost, etc. I'm also getting them to do a gearbox flush and an engine oil service as well, as that's due on the time, not the mileage. So thought I'd get it all done. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in the car. It's a bit cold out here today, and go for a quick drive, and I'll just update you on what I've been doing so far. Okay, back in the warmth now. Going to take it for a drive, and I'll just, as I go, just going to chat to you and let you know what's been going on, really, because I haven't updated for a while on the Range Rover. As I say, the only minor issue I've had has been the squeaking from the auxiliary belt and pulleys, which is a common fault on the L322 Range Rovers. I've actually taken it into a Range Rover specialist based over in Ruislip in Middlesex, near London, at Vogue Autos. Very good if you're in that area. Very reliable and very reasonable repairs. 2 or 3 of my friends have used them and found them fantastic, so I would recommend them. They're going to do the auxiliary belt change and also change, I think it's a couple of the pulleys, he said, that are quite common that go, so he's going to do those. I've also asked him while it's in if it's worth doing a gearbox oil change, because I know some people say it is, some people say it isn't. Now, what he said to me was, on the Range Rover, if you're having gearbox problems, do not do an oil change and flush, because the likelihood is that you would just end up wrecking the gearbox, because if there's a problem there and then you put fresh oil in, it's going to exacerbate it, really, which makes some sort of sense. But obviously I haven't got any problems that I'm aware of. The only reason I want to do it is to try and extend the life of the gearbox, because I want to keep the car. I've decided I want to keep it probably for another year or two, because I do love it. It's comfortable, it does everything I want it to do, much to my wife's disgust because she doesn't like it, but horses for courses. I do love it, and I'm the one that drives it, so I get final say on that. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot on the market to compare really with a Range Rover. I'll come back to that in a minute. But the other thing I'm also getting him to do when he does the gearbox flush and oil change, I've asked him to do an oil service, because it was a year ago the car was serviced, and although I haven't done the mileage to warrant another service, I thought it's best just to get the oil changed at least while it's in there. So I've booked him for that as well, and obviously once that's done, as I say, that's booked in for a couple of weeks time, I'll do another video just to update you all, let you know how it went, and if there's any difference to the car and how it drives, etc. Hopefully it'll be quiet and I won't have those mice in the under the bonnet there squeaking at me in the mornings. Other than that, car's been great, no other real problems to speak of. The only other job I did do recently was I replaced the passenger side step. The driver's side had been replaced because someone actually drove into the side of the car not long before I started the channel, and that one was replaced, but the left-hand side step wasn't replaced, and I didn't realise that it had rusted quite severely until my wife went to get into the back of the car, stood on it, and it literally bent down and nearly gave way under her. So, that was quite dangerous, really. I mean, luckily she realised and got off quickly, but, it could have been quite nasty for someone if they were getting in and it snapped. So one thing I would say, if you've got an L322 Range Rover about 10-11 years old, do check the side steps. They look perfectly alright from the top. All the rubber looks great, the seal at the side looks great, but if you put your hand underneath and it's really rusty, which mine were, I mean, basically there was no metal left underneath the rubber, so it was like you were standing on the rubber basically at the end. So definitely check those if you're looking to buy one of these cars. they're not expensive to replace if you do it yourself. I mean, I got a set for £170 on eBay, and I fitted that one myself. It's not, you know, it's not hard, but it's not the easiest job in the world. It's a bit fiddly, I'd say. The problem I had was one of the nuts rusted in, which they do tend to, because obviously you can imagine over 10 years of dirt and stuff being thrown up underneath the car, you are going to get those screws, you know, getting corroded, which is exactly what happened. And it turned out one of the screws just sheared off, but I did manage to get the other end of that out and replace it with a new bolt. So that was bolt and nuts rather, so that was quite good on the whole. As I say, not too expensive to replace, but obviously it could be a little bargaining point if you're buying one of these and you just say, look, these are rusted through, they're going to need replacing. They might give you something towards it. And as I say, obviously you don't have to have side steps, it's just something that helps you get in and out and prevents the wear on the side of the seats. But they are a good thing to have, really. Most people do like to have them to use because, as I say, it's quite a tall car to get in and out of. Talking about the side seat wear, the only other thing I have got on this car that I'd like to sort out, well, I've sort of started, a bit of the piping on the driver's seat, which I'll just quickly show you a clip of there, or a picture of there. That actually was worn when I got it. Now, what I've done so far is I bought some piping repair. It's like a paste you mix up from a leather specialist, and I've put that on, but it just needs a little rub down now and then just dyeing black, and then you won't be able to see it. So again, when I've finished doing that, I'll show you a picture of obviously it completed, and hopefully you won't be able to see that after then. Otherwise, the only other thing I really want to do on the Range Rover now, I've got most of the bodywork how I wanted it now. There was a little bit of rust on the tailgate, which I had sorted out when someone's kindly keyed the car down that side, and I had that all sorted as well. So both sides have been done, the tailgate's been done. The only part of the car really that I need to look at now is the front bumper, because that isn't very nice at all. I think it's been resprayed before and it possibly wasn't done properly. And the lacquer's all gone, and it just doesn't look very nice. So it would just finish the car off. So I think it would be worth it once I've sorted out you know, the minor issues with the auxiliary belt, etc. And if I'm going to sort the seat out, I think I'm going to do that as well. And then fingers crossed, the Range Rover then will be as it should be, and hopefully give me another couple of years of relatively pain-free motoring. And I think that is the key, really. It is just a case of, as the jobs come up, just do them. Because the thing is, it's like any car. If you just look after it as you go along, then you're only ever going to have the small things come up. Hopefully, you know, you're going to get the odd major fault on any car. But hopefully, if you deal with the small stuff as it comes along, then it isn't insurmountable to get the car done and then leave you thinking, oh god, I might as well just get rid of it. I've got a long list of things that need doing to it, and that's basically the key to any car, and a Range Rover is no different. Now, saying I'm not going to keep the car, it's unlike me, really, because in the past I've always only had cars for about a year at the most, but I do love the Range Rover. I mean, it's possibly, I'd say it's one of my favourite cars, if not my most favourite car I've ever had. Up there with this are the Mercedes E-Class estate I had. I love that. That was a lovely car. That was on a 55 plate. It was the 3 litre diesel, 3.2 litre diesel, which I loved. But I had some electrical problems with that in the end, unfortunately. But that was a great car. The other cars are the Volvos, which I also love and rate for their comfort. They're fantastic cars. Brilliant, so comfortable. The V70s, I had 3 of them. I had two V70s and an S70. So the V70 is the estate, which I had 2 of. Great cars, really comfortable, massive load space, which again this has too, and also the Mercedes has, and that's quite essential for me because I DJ, so I often have to carry some equipment about, which is handy. Also, it's great if you're doing some DIY at home. You can just load the stuff in the boot, so you've got the best of both worlds. You've got a car and a van in one virtually, and if you fold the seats down, it's cavernous in here. So yeah, that's why sort of some of the reasons I love the Range Rover. It's got everything on it: a heated steering wheel, heated seats, front and back, obviously climate control front and back. I know these are all things that all cars have these days, but they don't normally have all of them together. They have one or two of these things. Electric windows all round, electric mirrors, heated mirrors, sunroof. Again, sunroof with aircon's not something you see these days, you know, so much. So that's why I really love the car, and I can't think of another car I'd like to replace it with at the moment, apart from perhaps the sort of later generation 17 reg on E-Class Estates, which I love, with the LED lighting inside. They're wonderful, but they're just out my range really at the moment. They start from around, I'd say 17, but you've got to pay 22 to 24,000 for one with low mileage and with a service history, and really that just, I haven't got that sort of money, I'll be honest. My budget's 10 to 12. This is probably worth about maybe 12 and a half at the moment, I think, maybe 13 when everything's done on it, and that really is my budget. So at the moment I can't think of anything else that I'd want to replace it with, apart from maybe a newer version of this. But then again, as I say, you're going up in the money, then you're looking at a minimum of 20 grand for the newer shape, the later shape. This is an 2011. They facelifted it in 2013, and really the features and everything it's not that different really. You've got the same engines on mostly, although this is the TDV8 and they use, I think it's the SV6 and SV8 I think engines on those, but there's a slightly updated infotainment system, which I suppose is nice, but it's still not modern by today's standards if you buy one on that era. And really, if I was updating, I want something that's got Apple CarPlay, something that's got, because I'm into my music, and that's really what I like in a car. I like to have a decent entertainment system, or infotainment system as they call it. I mean, this has got a TV, but I never use it, so that doesn't really bother me. But the Mercedes is brilliant because it's got the CarPlay, and I think eventually when they come down in price or a couple of years older, which is why I say I might keep this a couple more years, then that might be the car that might sway me to replace this. Having said that, if I could keep this I would, because I love it, and I really do enjoy driving it. It's a lovely driving position. You're high up, you can see great visibility all round. You don't feel like you want to drive fast anyway, so I feel it makes you, not to make you a better driver, but it makes you drive slower and more sensibly, and that's always a good thing. That is always a good thing. But really, that's it really for the update today. So nothing much to report. Just wanted to let you know what I have been doing, what I'm going to be doing, and then hopefully in the next video I'll have had the auxiliary belt done, and the pulleys, and also the 2 oil changes, and then I can sort of take it for a drive. And at that point I will have had the car for 2 years as well, so then I can do my 2-year update, and I'll do a rundown on the costs again, because I know a lot of people really liked my 18-month video I did, where I did a rundown on the running costs, etc. So I'll do another one of those, and hopefully it'll keep you all updated and give you a realistic idea of what it costs to run one of these cars. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please give us the thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget you can subscribe and click the bell, and that will give you a warning when I post a new video. I'm hoping to start posting a bit more regularly. Sorry I've been a bit lax lately, but I've had a lot on over Christmas, and I've been having some problems with my eye again, so looking to do quite a bit more content this year on the Range Rover, and also some more studio content as well. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care, guys.